So the night went, and then in the morning, you'd think in reserve, we weren't fighting the big battle, which is near Nouvelle-au-Plan, where the Germans were attacking from Montberg and Cherbourg. So you'd think we'd be okay, but we took the brunt of the artillery, and they had observers in the church tower and elsewhere, and they could see us. And they knocked the living hell out of the remnant 3rd Battalion. We weren't wiped out, but we were getting hit hard. And the next afternoon, we lost Leonard and Laws. An airburst went off over their hole, and I went running. I heard some yelling, and I hit a hole right nearby, and I went running up, and Jack was just, his head was buried against the side of the hole. You know, he had his chin up. He was a tough guy, and he put his face right into the side, and sometimes a soldier knows when somebody's dead. And I said, "Where's Bill?" And somebody said, "Well, he's alive. He's over there. He's laying down." And I could see a form laying down. And then a few minutes later, somebody said he died. And so that was, we took a hell of a beating. And then there was several incidents that I think I've written a lot about, and I'll just go over them again briefly. And that I remember very vividly. One was Leonard and I, when there was a lull, we went down to the house nearby, and we thought we were getting a bottle of wine. It turned out to be a bottle of vinegar, 2 bottles. So I had it in my hole in my pocket, and a shell hit nearby, and the bottle exploded. And believe me, I had a very uncomfortable time in that area of my body, which was below the belt. And then another time, Sergeant Prager, who later got the Distinguished Service Cross posthumously, one of our great soldiers, he grabbed Leonard and me and another guy because there was we spotted a glider about 100 yards away with a 57 gun in it, which we figured we could use. The guys in the glider were dead. And I don't know, the 2 or 3, but the gun looked all right. And we figured maybe there's a chance we could pull it out. So we went down there, and I have an aerial photograph here somewhere up there with what do you call it, a bunch of pictures. And it shows the glider and exactly where we were. And every time we got near the glider, the artillery, they knew we were trying to do, and we just couldn't do it. And the last thing I thought was very memorable. Major Krause was hit, not bad. He came back in, but he was hit, and the executive officer, Major, the name slips me, but the executive officer of the 3rd Battalion of the 505 came around through us in the reserve, and he said, "Look," he says, "they got some tanks coming now down the road against the 2nd Battalion." He says, "So we stay fast in our holes." And what he meant was nobody gets out of their hole. The tanks come through that gate, he says. The gate was in the passageway. He says, you're standing fast, meaning you stay in your holes and let the tanks roll over. And I just assumed that to me, that was just another order. I'll never forget that. I took it very calmly, and I dug my hole deeper and made some shelves in it for my grenades and stuff, but the tanks never got to us.